Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of New Dice Please podcast. Chris here with a little pre intro for you, just for a couple of things. First of all, hats all a mess. A huge thank you to everyone who's been donating to our fundraising effort for November this month. You can see my terrible moustache here, looking particularly terrible. We have raised a phenomenal amount of money so far, over £1,300, which is incredible. We are just under halfway through our moving, so we've moved an awful lot as well. I've hit £300, so this happened yesterday, and this will stay like this until December, hence the hat, which is difficult to put on and off, if I'm honest, because it is kind of a head of Velcro. God, I don't know if you even heard that. It's horrendous. But a huge thank you to everyone if you have donated. If you haven't donated, I don't care. I love you anyway, and thank you for supporting us. So if you do want to donate, there will be a link in the description of the video and of the podcast, and you can go there to give anything that you can. We're so pleased with the support that we've had. This episode, we were very, very pleased that we managed to catch the new Team England captain, and we've got him on the show to give us his hot takes. Why am I here beforehand? Well, it's normally because there's some kind of issue from a technical perspective. God, this hat. Which there was from a point of view that you can hear me slightly twice, which I appreciate is very infuriating, and it's infuriating for me that I let it happen. Do not worry, your new Team England captain you can hear crystal clear, as you can for Tom and Scott. It's only me that's annoying, so there might be points where I just kind of cut mine out or I record something over the top of it instead. So yes, don't worry. Anything that our new Team England captain has to say will be crystal clear. That's it from me. You might hear me again later on for the outro, depending on how horrendous I sound then. Enjoy the podcast. Play the intro. Hello, everyone, and welcome to New Dice Please, the bite-sized Bloodbowl podcast brought to you by the people at Bloodbowl Live. My name is Chris. Joining me, as always, Mr. Scott Bryant. Scott, who is your favourite captain?
Good evening, Chris. My favourite captain, I've got two. I'll go for Pugwash, just for the nostalgic 70s crowd out there.
Good choice. Good choice. I was hoping for some range of choices here. That's very good. Joining us also, Mr. Tom Hovell. Tom, favourite captain?
I don't know. Best captain. Call me on the hop. Jack Sparrow comes to mind.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Joining us also, Mr. Tom Feeks. Feeks, favourite captain?
Got onto a similar line as you, Tom. Captain Hook. Leading down the pirate theme.
You understand you've all gone for pirates, right?
Are there any other captains?
Well, yes. I mean, I had two options in my mind, which I'll come to in a second. We have a purple box on the screen. That means we have a guest with us. I could talk about the teams that he likes to play. I could talk for his fondness of Skaven and Wood Elves and Snotlings. I could talk about many things like that. Or I could say that he is the newly elected captain of Team England. It is Liam, a.k.a thulean. Liam, thank you so much for joining us this week. Who is your favourite captain?
I'm going to say Captain Phillips.
Good choice.
Credit to anyone who knows who that is, but yes.
Very good choice.
A very fine nautical theme still pervaded here.
There are pirates involved, but he's not the pirate.
I mean,
there's a certain line from the film which has sprung into my head, and I was very close to doing, and I'm fairly certain I would get cancelled for doing.
Yeah, let's not do that. Normally at this point, I would say we're not going to talk about captains, but we are talking about a captain. As I've said, he's the new Team England captain, Liam, and we are going to go through, as we always do when we have someone in the purple box, his hot takes. 3 takes on Blood Bowl. We'll see whether they are hot, whether they are mild, whether they sit somewhere in between, and whether we agree with them. Liam, I will hand straight over to you and ask you what your first hot take is.
Sure, thank you. So I have a little caveat to my 3 hot takes. They're all very, very hot, I think, but they all have a little sort of sub-message of positivity in the end of them. So,
Okay.
So I guess my first one is playing Stunty, and particularly Snotlings, makes you much better at the game.
Okay. I'm immediately gonna. I think I think I may see where you're going here, but I'm intrigued immediately by your justification.
Yeah. So I think that I've played a lot of Snotlings. You can look at my NAF page. I generally play them without rerolls or maybe one reroll. My thinking behind that is your failure state is always loner or like a snake dodge. So you don't need rerolls very much, but it means you need to plan your turn like very, very well, very, very specifically. And I think positioning is extremely important there, and that makes you better at the game.
Okay. I do see that logic immediately. The tough thing to argue against you here is the fact that I don't think any of the four of us really have played not only Snotlings but Stunties to a massive degree, which may explain why none of us are necessarily fantastic coaches, and therefore prove your point. Is it just like, would you say Snotlings are the kind of best for that, or do you think all of the stunty teams kind of bring a similar degree of kind of pre-planning and stuff that you need to consider?
Yeah, I think they all do, because they're all so fragile, right? They're all kind of terrible. You have to get the most out of what you've got. Snotlings are a bit of a bear because they're generally played as like star caddies, which is not the most fun thing in the world. But I think even then, even with like the best stars, I think you have to play well. You can't just, I mean, you can just more 2+ everything, but generally to do consistently well, you've got to play pretty well with them, I think. A friend of mine, Yudlagar, is very, very good with goblins, and he never really takes star players with them. So, yeah.
Mr. Scott Bryant, your thoughts?
My experience with sort of stunties is I played Underworld Denizens a few times. Had a very entertaining evening actually, playing those guys. And actually, sorry, it was a Carrot Crunch this year. I played them. It's actually something one of our regulars, the man, myth, legend, John Reeder, said. He actually said to me when I was starting my journey in Blood Bowl. He said, play Snotlings because then you learn key skills like screening, positioning, and that more strategic thing rather than, as Liam suggested, there's a 2-up dodge with a reroll. I mean, hey, who can fail those? I think if you want to become a better rounder coach as a Blood Bowl, aficionado, yes, can't really argue against it. And I think it's about being brave, all of us, and stepping off into that stunty world as well. And do we risk then coming back to the the right side of Blood Bowl or any other side of Blood Bowl? We've seen the corruptive influence stunties and gobbos has on someone like Scott Norman. So God help us all. But yeah, can't disagree at the moment.
Mr. Hovel.
Disappointing.
So, do you prefer playing stunties in league or tournament, or both?
Definitely, this is from a tournament perspective. Yeah, stunties in leagues, they're terrible, and they're even more star caddy nonsense, which I think is really bad for the game. But yeah, definitely tournament perspective.
And for any listeners wanting to kind of put their toe in the stunty pond, so to speak, which ones are the most forgiving as a starter?
Yeah, I think probably gnomes. Gnomes are probably the best quote unquote stunty, just because they all start with wrestle, which is quite cool. Then I think Snotlings are, especially in the new edition, Snotlings are going to be pretty good.
Mr. Tom Feeks.
Yeah, I actually completely agree. On your point with the tournament or league, I've just finished painting a Goblins team, and I was this close. I was so close to entering them into Oak Bowl for this weekend. I didn't, and I'm kind of almost regretting it that I haven't, because I could just go along there and just have some fun and not have any pressure and just learn something different. I am running Goblins in an online league at the moment, and you're right, you do have to play them just that little bit differently, just because they're stunting and you suddenly realize, I've got 5 players left quite regularly, and you suddenly go, okay, how am I going to counter this, and how am I going to at least try and get something out of it? So, from your development point as well, yeah, it absolutely pushes you out of your comfort zone. From tabletop, the closest I've got is Underworld, which isn't true stunties. Obviously, you've got the gutters and everything in there, but there have been times where I've had matches where I've maybe only had 2 rats on the field and the rest have been goblins. So trying to dig my way out of a hole with that, I do think after a while I've gone, actually, I've thought of a different way of playing that, and I've thought of a different way around doing this. And I think as well, I think you're absolutely right. They will just make you a better player just by giving them a go, because as well they'll trip you up sometimes.
I'm really glad with the direction that you took that, Tom, because if you were about to claim like true stunty kind of experience with gutter runners on the field, it would because in my head I was like, oh well, I could always talk about lizards, and I thought, shut up, Chris, don't talk about lizards when we're having a stunty conversation. Don't be that guy.
No, I would never do that. I'm talking about a couple of times where I've literally had 2 rats left on the field, and it's given me a taste of what it's like, and it does make you think.
Very good first take, Liam. What is your second hot take for us?
Sorry, before we ask Liam, can I just a quick question for Liam on that? So, Liam, do all stunty teams appeal to you, or is there a particular stunty team who you just can't stand?
I think halflings are probably at the bottom of my list.
Why does everybody just hate halflings? What is it?
They've just not got anything to them, right? They're just some lads and a couple of trees. Like there's nothing else, nothing exciting. There's no foxes. There's no bombs being thrown. There's no fanatic or anything. It's like,
so any halfling players listening to this on Thursday or beyond, basically, are we saying that, guys, sorry, you're shit? Is it as simple as that, or?
No, Scott, don't. You're trying to lure him into that.
No, people like what they like, right? I struggle to get along with halflings. They have no real essence for me. It's just a bit boring. That's all.
I completely agree. What's that? Oh, you get 2 halflings that just happen to be a bit heavier than the other ones. Game changer. Yes. Anyway, I won't go on a halfling rant. Hot take number 2, Liam.
Okay. Cranking up a little bit. I think Team Blood Bowl, this is competition bend again. Team Blood Bowl is the only thing that matters. Everything else is just practice.
Ooh, okay. Now, here we go. We are doing the 4 of us are doing our very first team event next year for the Kent Team Championships. We are going down as a New Dice Please team. So this is going to be a good education for us as to what makes Team Blood Bowl the kind of peak, and what should we expect?
Yeah, so I think Team Blood Bowl it's brilliant. It's absolutely great. You go to a place, to a tournament with your friends, and you get to play together instead of against each other. And there's a real kind of camaraderie that comes about with that. Also, drawing is better, so you can take draws and still win the tournament. Because you can win a round by getting 3 draws and a win, right? Across 4 boards. So, you're cheering your friends on rather than hoping they lose, so you win the tournament, which is great. You win and lose together, so you share a bit of that burden. I think it's just the best Blood Bowl going, and it's great that you're going to the KTC. I think it's a great tournament.
This is something that, based on we're almost 100% confident that the Kent Team Championships rule pack is going to be completely different. Give it a few weeks time and see what changes and things like that are. At the moment, we are looking at all four of us wanting to take teams that mean we simply cannot afford to put the team together because we're all looking at tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. How do you, within a team, and I don't know whether this is something that you've either already come across kind of with Team England stuff or that you may come across, how do you kind of balance that kind of that want of coaches to play specific teams, but then make sure you build a team within the rules and kind of balance out who can take what and things like that? How do you manage that?
Yeah, it's interesting. People have to be flexible for sure. I went to the Kent tournament last year and actually won it. So
that was very casually said.
May have won it. So, and we had 4 players who were very happy to just play whatever as long as it all fit in the thing. So yeah, I don't know. I guess just being flexible, understanding that you're all going there together to play together, and maybe some sacrifices need to be made for everyone to have the best possible time, I think is important.
So Scott, I'm going to ask for your comments, and what I'm kind of, I've already drifted away from what I think is the spiciest thing of this take, which is that all other Blood Bowl is just practice, which I've kind of already moved away from because I don't know how I feel about it. What are your thoughts, Scott?
I'm liking it already. I like the idea of teams. I like the ethos. Am I confident in our team cohesiveness and our, team building values, our skills? Absolutely not. Do I expect it to be carnage? Absolutely. Do I expect members of this team to sort of look and Liam, you can hopefully help us on, decorum at the team table. Are you allowed to wander over to a fellow team member if you finish early and sort of point them in the direction of, why are you doing that, and berate them in front of their opposition? Is that allowed? Because that's what's going to happen.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think helping them out is allowed, but certainly the opposite might be okay.
Mr. Hovell.
Yeah, I was seeing along the same things of like, how do I stop Chris throwing his dice at me because I keep rolling one, which is usually my case.
Liam, Tom rolls too many dice, and I can't stop him. And I've tried. God help me, I've tried.
So a little story. On Sunday, we had our end of season kind of thing. One of our coaches bought a brand new set of 2 D6s. I picked them up, rolled double ones. He picked them up, he rolled double sixes. I picked them up again and rolled double ones. At that point, people said, stop, just stop rolling the dice, Tom. That's my problem. So as you can probably tell, I'm not taking vampires to Kent. But yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued at what you say about the flexibility, because obviously, as you say, there's different kind of points and structures of teams. So do you, as in your teams, you go for a kind of nice even spread of some that are bashy, some that are agile, or is it you kind of talk to amongst yourselves and go, what teams do you like? What are you going to bring? Oh, I'm going to bring this, I'm going to bring that. Or is it a little bit more kind of statistical?
It's it really varies on like the kind of the mindset we're going into the tournament with. If it's so the Kent one, we were trying to win it, but the 4 people were not that bothered about what they were taking, so we were just mostly going to go to play what we wanted, and it happened that we could all fit into the thing okay, and that was great. But then say with like Team England, we're obviously going to go and try and win, so we want to pick the best 8 races possible. There's no restrictions with Eurobowl in terms of picking teams. It's just max of 1 of each race. Whereas I think in Kent, it's like done on like a point system, right? So you have to kind of fit into that, which is, it can be a bit awkward. But yeah, it really depends. Generally, like I've done a couple of international tournaments this year with the TNT group, and we've all been kind of pretty flexible. Maybe one person says, oh, I really fancy playing this, and then the others say, okay, well, I'll pick this then, and you can pick that. And yeah, as long as you chat with each other, I think you can figure it out.
So when you're kind of looking, obviously you said there sort of if the limitation is just down to kind of one race per team, sort of, so, or like only the same race once per team. Are you then trying to play as many different teams as possible in kind of other leagues and tournaments and stuff so that you can kind of fit in where's needed, or kind of will you kind of look further ahead and your presumed kind of lineup of coaches, will you all pick one and focus on it? Like how will you kind of prepare from that side of you?
Yeah, I guess I don't really. I try and play as many different races as I can, because I think that makes you a better player, more well-rounded. But I'm not going to play something I don't think is fun as well. So, and then the more people that you surround yourself with that think in the same way, the more likely you are to have a nice broad range of teams to pick from when it comes to building a squad.
Feeks, your thoughts?
I think there's two sides to it. In terms of it maybe being the pinnacle, like you say, I've never done a team event, but given your argument, I can see why. We've all been to a couple of tournaments at the same time, and there is that element of competition. We're all friendly with each other, and if we face each other, it's always just a good laugh. But there is always that element of competition, and like you say, you win and you lose together, and you go back and have a drink at the end of the day, and you live it all through as a team. So I can see what you mean there. Not sure if I agree on the rest of it being practice, but I suppose it's how you look. It is what you want from the game, is the thing. And for me, I love league play because I just love building a team. There's something about the slow grind and seeing the players grow that I get a lot of satisfaction from. And to be fair, I can't go to as many tournaments as I'd like to because of family. So maybe I'm just clutching at straws here and thinking, well, I don't want to go to the tournaments anyway because I can't. And actually, I'm throwing my toys out of the pram here.
I think I am possibly, having not done a team tournament, it would be really interesting to see how we get on. I feel like when we've been to the last tournament we all went to as a group, where we went to the Bloodbowl Open in Sheffield, we kind of had, none of us ended up facing each other, which was nice over the 2 days. And I think we did kind of have a bit of that camaraderie where, like, after games, we were kind of talking about what's gone on and trying to keep each other's sort of spirits up, depending on how results went. So I think we'll do okay. I'm also very pleased that it will be a tournament where I can't play against Tom Feeks, which means the little inter-friend competition that we've got, that means I've got the golden top chump card at the minute he can't take from me by beating me. So
that's sat in my wallet. That's sat in my wallet for so long, Chris. So long.
But it doesn't now, and that's on you. Let's move on then to your third hot take. Liam, take it away.
Okay, this may be the most contentious one. I think a snake rush into the end zone is always your own fault.
Yes, yeah. No, fully agree. Fully agree with the man there. Fully agree. Nuffle hates hubris, and you only, as a true Blood Bowl coach, you only learn that the proper hard way. Yes, that is correct. It's your own bloody fault and your own arrogance, but we all come back for more, and it's our own fault.
Scott, I've not seen you. This is really resonating with you, Scott. When was the last time?
I thought the therapy had worked. I didn't think this was going to come up anymore. So Liam has just destroyed months and years. There are certain people, certain coaches who will come and watch me play, and if I've got a rush and do that, whether it's a single rush or a double rush, it doesn't matter. I have to force them to walk away, because whether it's a curse, whether I've got some sort of genetic disposition, I don't know. But yeah, it's you're going to roll a 1 into a 1. It's guaranteed.
So
it's your own fault.
Is the logic here, Liam, that you shouldn't be putting yourself in a position where you have to roll that dice? Is it as simple as that?
Yeah. you can make the rushes if you're out of range, make them on a previous turn if you can. I think I say always. It's not always, but for dramatic effect, it's always. Get forwards quicker, get in scoring range on turn 7. Don't have to roll the 2+ on turn 8.
Do you think? How much do you think the likelihood of people doing those rushes will change based on? We've seen kind of the like heavily shared leaked pages from the book about stalling. Do you see, like, do you think more will people just get good at stalling further up the field? Will people be rushing more and saving rerolls for it? Kind of, how do you think it will progress?
Or will people just be taking vampires all the time?
Always see an increase in vampires and ogres.
Yeah, we probably will. There's all sorts of things, all sorts of connotations from that. Like, there's stupid things you can do. So you can stall, like, as the rule says, you can not score with your guy with the ball, and then just take a guy who's like in tackle zones and dodge him 4 times until he falls over, and then that circumvents the rule. Or you can build a wall in front of your ball carrier, so he has to do rushes to get in the end zone, and when he doesn't really, and then move everyone else afterwards. So this stalling rule is basically garbage, I think, and doesn't fix anything. Not that there's a problem anyway, but I think we're going to see some mad stuff going on in the name of getting around it. If I run a tournament, I'm just going to tell everyone to not use the stalling rule, I think, and just play as they would normally. But if you do go to a tournament where that is enforced, then prepare for wildness.
I thought you were going to say tears.
I'm picturing people dackering quite a lot and possibly running back, which I find considerably more frustrating, because I will throw wave after wave of disposable positionals into a cage until they die. But when the entire team suddenly moves back, I weep a bit. I would rather have the intricacies of figuring out how to break a stalling situation than burn 3 or 4 turns. So I'd almost like, if there's a, if I wanted one of them gone, it probably wouldn't have been stalling. But Scott, you've given us your thoughts on this. Tom Hover, what are your immediate thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I'm kind of getting an idea that you're quite a statistician, kind of strategic on this, because clearly you've mentioned about, you playing a lot of snotlings, not wanting to rush at all. So I'm just curious, do you know all your setups almost before you start the game? And do you have like certain set plays against certain teams?
Not necessarily. You definitely have to adapt with Blood Bowl, because you don't know what your opponent's going to do. So, but definitely you kind of want a strategy going into a drive, defensive or offensive drive. How am I going to score? What am I going to do to stop them? Who am I going to target? When and where? And I think picking like a set play or something, like you say, or some setup that you're definitely going to do, I think could be a mistake, because you might not react properly to what your opponent does in, trying to do the one thing you set out to do. So, yeah.
Sure.
Mr. Feeks, your thoughts on that final painful rush?
I want to chuck a couple of scenarios at you, actually, Liam.
Is this where we try and find where it's not your fault? Is this?
Yes.
Okay.
This is exactly where we find.
Everybody sit back. It's time for what trauma has Tom been through? Here we go.
There's not that many of them, don't worry. Because on the face of it, I can't say I agree, because we've all been in that situation where you kind of have to make it, or your opponent has countered you well enough that has pushed you to a point where you have to make the rush on turn 16 to try and make it work. We've all been there, and maybe things haven't quite gone our way. However, if your drive has gone to plan, you won't be in that situation anyway. So you will already be in range. But one turner, is it your fault if you snake?
No, but that's not really Blood Bowl, is it? That's just somewhat. That's a single player.
Oh, okay.
Scenario,
No,
so-
sorry. This is for this is the fourth hot take. One turners aren't really Blood Bowl.
No, it's a single player thing. Like your opponent has no input, right? So
Yeah.
You could also argue that if you're having to one turn, it's your fault for not being ahead sooner.
yeah, or you played Underworld and did the correct play, which is run away and do the one turn. So.
Yeah.
I do like finishing on a spicy one. I do love a spicy take. Three very nice takes there, Liam. Thank you very much. Before I pass over to Mr. Scott Bryant for the terrifying quickfire coach questions, which always scare me slightly, but I'm very intrigued as to what he's come up with. I feel I need to ask you at least one more thing about kind of Team England moving forward being the kind of biggest thing that's kind of come up, I guess, in the, as of today, last less than 24 hours, but as of when this goes out, sort of last week. Now that kind of you've got the team kind of England captaincy, are there any kind of big changes or anything that you are particularly picturing? Like what kind of position is Team England in at the minute, and where do you kind of see it? Where do you see it moving forward?
Yeah, so there's a process we kind of have to go through, which is putting out applications for people to sign up. That'll happen in the next sort of few weeks. I've got some people to work with, including the Team England committee, to try and get ideas out, try and get changes put through. Stuff like I've got a few people lined up for doing media production and kind of streaming games, casting stuff, putting out social media posts. Things aren't going to change a whole lot from the previous year, but hopefully we win Eurobowl at the end of it. That's the main aim anyway.
Very nice.
So would the Eurobowl win, is that the measure of success for you, Liam? Is that the prerequisite rather than having a vote of confidence from the chairman or the owners?
Yes. Yeah. Winning the Eurobowl should be the main aim of any England team. I think we've got the best players in the world in the country, so we should be winning and challenging for the win every single time. We challenged for the win this year, but it was a little bit out of reach. The year prior to that, we didn't challenge at all. So we're going in the right direction. Next year is our year.
Well,
Sorry, Chris, just on that. Just when we think then about Team England as well. One thing we've spoken about to a previous guest coach, which was a young gentleman by the name of Greenskin Phil, lives on the south coast somewhere, wears some fabulous footwear that we often call out as well. One thing that Phil mentioned previously was about how to look at nurturing and developing the next generation of Blood Bowl coaches, whether they be developing current existing coaches or looking for that next Lionel Messi of the Blood Bowl pitch. What's your thoughts, your strategy around that, continuing the Team England legacy?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be working with Greenskin Phil quite closely throughout this. He's going to come to Poland to be the non-playing coach for the bowl team. And throughout this year, we'll be building a strategy together to scout for new talent, to improve existing talent. We've got a lot of very, very good players already in the team, England. And I think we can utilize them, if they're willing, to help to kind of raise the floor of the whole of England to a higher level.
It does certainly sound kind of very promising. And I think the way that you kind of talking about it and kind of talking about the talent that's within kind of coaches that, you know, that are eligible for the England team, and you know, saying how possibly sort of some of the best coaches in the world are, you know, ones that can be picked for that team, is kind of a good sign for kind of things to come. So all sounds very positive.
Couple of things. Sorry, Chris. Just a quick from Liam. As Team England captain now, do you have a rider? So what is it, and how do we get some of that action?
No, the one thing I always do when I go to Europe these days is I take my own tea bags, because in Europe they're impossible to find. So I have to take some Yorkshire tea with me to get a proper cup of tea. But aside from that,
now
easy to please.
Now, Liam, I don't want to stereotype, but the captain of Team England ensuring that one thing he takes is there's something quite nice about it.
Yeah, stereotypes are there for a reason, right? So,
Yeah.
I think that's very, very appropriate, and I'm a coffee drinker, so I highly approve of it.
Well, it's now
one more, which is just a little thing.
Okay,
Yeah, just it's not that I lie awake at night.
Shush, Chris, you're not the host or anything. Shush.
It's not that I lie awake at night thinking of these things. When you actually do Eurobowl, do they play the national anthem or a national anthem, or do you have your own national anthem that you're now going to impose as Team England captain? You know.
No, we
Spice
don't.
Girls be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would like my music taste. So, you know, we're not going to do that. The only anthem I've heard in the past 2 years is the Marseillaise, the French thing. But
yeah,
I don't want to hear that anymore. So, you know, we're going to have to make some changes.
Excellent.
It's now the point where I would hand over to Scott Bryant for a section that we refer to as Quickfire Coach. And I sit back and I let Scott now take the reins of the podcast. And I sit and quietly mull in a puddle of my own fear as to what questions he's going to ask. Scott, over to you.
Christopher, thank you very much indeed. So, I'll assume you're playing the music little novelty intro that you always do at this time.
Do you want the background music again?
I'd like the elevator music. I feel now I've hit a status peak, so I really want to maintain that level of cultural banality, if you can. Thank you.
It'll be in the edit, but not live, obviously. So, you know, just pretend you can hear it, and it will be there.
I hear lots of different noises in my mind, Chris. That's fine. It'll just be another one to add to the heady mix. Yes, Liam, welcome to the little part of the show we call Quickfire Coach. This is the part that people love to hate and they hate to love. This is where we'll ask you a series of rapid-fire questions to gauge your true level of Blood Bowl coaching and your Blood Bowl coaching persona. Are you a pillar of the Blood Bowl community? Are you simply that guy? The ones we know. So it'll be 10 questions, and then we'll go through your answers to see where you will be sitting and ranked on the leaderboard, which currently has Chris Blunt, of all people, top of the leaderboard, with D for Dan Atherton right behind him as well. And you probably never thought you'd hear me say that on a podcast as well. So evening, gentlemen, if you're listening. So Liam, the new team captain, a.k.a thulean, are you ready, sir?
Ready. Bring it on.
Very good. Mr. Tom Hobble, be ready with the timer, please.
Ready?
Don't worry, Liam, we've got to give him something to do. It's a contractual obligation. Just entertain it. Go on. Anyway, okay, let's go for it. Liam, question number 1, block or dodge?
Block.
Question number 2, sprint or sidestep?
Sidestep.
Question number 3, favourite season 3 reveal so far?
Oh, Orcs, Biggins getting mighty blow.
Question 4, most sexiest Blood Bowl sculpt is?
It's the Brute Fun Ripper.
Very nice. Question 5, best stunty green team, Snotlings or Gobbos?
Snotlings.
Question 6, saddest self-inflicted casualty, dead gutter runner or dead war dancer?
Dead war dancer.
Question 7. Best hash in Blood Bowl, nobility or gnomes?
Gnomes.
Question 9. Biggest tabletop win. Sorry, question 8. I can't read my bloody numbers. Say probably. Question 8. Biggest tabletop win.
For me personally?
Yes.
Oh, Tillian Team Cup.
And what was the score?
Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry.
Your
I thought
biggest,
you meant-
scoring
yeah,
win.
Trophy. Biggest scoring win, 5-0.
Very good, very good. Question number last one. Penultimate one. Loony or fanatic?
Loony.
Okay, and question number 10. Final question we started. So we finished. There'll be some special effects thrown in there.
You actually timed him.
Yeah.
Did you just set it to 3 seconds and put
No,
out
no, genuinely, I was timing him.
What rubbish? Like hell you did.
I was.
Okay,
He's
let's
only
not just, gentlemen, we're disturbing the karma, please. As if we're professional. Fucking hell. Sorry. Question number 10 then. Best looking Blood Bowl players who you would maybe, look the other way for Team England. Team France or Team Italy?
Oh, Team Italy.
There you go. So there you go. Anyone on Team France listening to this? Why? But basically, Team England have thrown down the gauntlet when it comes to good looks. They don't think you're worthy enough, lads. So you need to get your nighttime routines that little bit better. Now, what we'll do at this moment then, Liam, that will go across to our independent adjudicator, the New Dice Police Ethics Committee Chairman, Mr. Chris Coe, who will randomly assign a score to that as well. If you do want to know the answers to your score, where you may or may not have dropped points, drop us a note, find a form on the internet, fill it in, send it through to us, and maybe in the future we'll get back to you. But yeah, we will reward you when we see with some sort of dubious swag and merchandise. So without further ado, Mr. Chris Coe, what was Liam's score for tonight's quiz?
I feel bad because the answers are completely subjective, and every time we've had someone on, every person's got a better score than the previous person. But at some point that has to end because we're at 9 and we can't just give everyone 10 out of 10. So I thought, okay, well I will be subjective, and I'll think how I would answer the question, and then I will see whether we have the same answer. And then if we have the same answer, then I'll give the point, which is why we ended up at 4, and I'm really sorry.
Jeez, you're not getting on the team anytime soon.
So I'll wait for next year for my Team England spot.
I can only apologise on behalf of all Blood Bowl players everywhere, Liam. Yes, Mr. Chris Coe, hang your head in shame. But hey, that's the rules. And again, if you do want to know the answers, find a form online, fill it in, send it in, and yeah, we'll put it in the bin. So, yeah, that was it. Thank you very much, Liam.
You're very welcome.
Chris, back to you.
I'm always a bit terrified. Those were some of the least terrifying. There has been some previously that I have been scared, but so that wasn't so bad. So so that was good.
I think Liam, there must be an Aurea give off, because that's the most well behaved that Scott's ever been.
Yeah, it's been pretty. Yeah. I think
sometimes though, gents, if I just come out with random, questions that you feel ashamed and embarrassed about all the time, then I wouldn't be doing my job right. I like to keep you on your toes, keep people thinking. This isn't just this is about proper Blood Bowl content, gentlemen. It's not about just filth and innuendos and like a carry-on film, Tom Feeks.
See you later then.
Yeah, okay.
I'm done.
I always get a little bit scared when Scott goes into the quickfire coach questions, but they were probably some of the best ones. So well done, Scott. Well done, sir. I've added a new ending to this podcast than what was there before, largely because it's largely me talking and then it's that annoying repeat voice. So I thought I'd just save you all the hassle. But a huge thank you to Liam for coming on the podcast. It was really nice to hear from him. I think his hot takes that he brought were actually really interesting, and really they were ones that kind of, if you take them on board and you kind of take them in the right way, I think they are ones that make people better coaches. There was very much a focus on how to improve your play and ways in which you can do that and things you can learn. And I think what he said about wanting to take one mistake away from every game as a learning point was a really good thing. So, Team England very much in good hands. Very congratulations to Liam for the captaincy, and let's see how Team England get on the march through to Euro Bowl next year. Thank you very much for listening. If you want to get in touch, if you want to tell us about your hot takes, or you want any comment on Liam's hot takes, you can contact newdiceplease@gmail.com. You can also see us over on Instagram. You can see us on Blue Sky. You can see us on YouTube. You can see us on Twitch, all under New Dice Please or Bloodbowl Live. So go and check us out over there. Lots of stuff to come from us over the next few months as we prepare various bits and pieces of content and other things to come. So a big thank you to Mr. Scott Bryan, a big thank you to Mr. Tom Hoffel, a big thank you to Mr. Tom Feeks, a huge thank you to Liam for coming on, and all the best in the captaincy role. And thank you everyone for listening. We've been New Dice Please, and we will see you next time.